Hello, and thank you for clicking on my video. If you like my content, please subscribe. That really helps me a lot. And let's get started with today's question number 52 for DevOps and SRE interviews. Let me make this a little bigger so it's easier to see. Slideshow. Okay, today's question is, what is configuration management and which tool is your favorite and why? So here the interview is really looking for your experience with the vocabulary of DevOps. Even though you may have used tools like Ansible or Chef or Puppet, you may not know that those tools are actually part of a category called configuration management. Configuration management is basically anything above operating system, right? All your configuration files, all your apps, anything and everything that you need for your virtual machine to be immutable. That means that if you had to recreate the same exact VM again, you could do it using the tool of your choice. When you deploy to cloud, different infrastructure, you can do it through Terraform, but generally speaking, to manage your machines, you need something like one of these tools that are called, in general, configuration management tool. That term is not super important, but the interviewer is asking you this from this term just so he or she knows that you've heard this term before, so you've been around, right? So this is actually a little difficult because of all of the layers in the stack. The virtual machine is actually probably the hardest until you move to container, which is a different thing altogether. But in virtual machines, it's very difficult to keep your machine immutable because the configurations change all the time, right? So for this reason, the tool of your choice is very important. Everybody has their favorite tool because they've gotten used to it. They know how to work with it, because no tool is perfect when it comes to configuration management until we move to Docker, which is a different story. So in our case, you can choose one of the following. Most common configuration tools are Ansible, Chef, Puppet, Salt, or Vagrant. Nowadays, when configuration management first came out, Chef and Puppet were competing to be the top one. Eventually, at first, Chef kind of won out, but then Puppet won out. But then eventually, they all got beat by Ansible because it's very flexible. Even though Ansible is not perfect by any means, it can be a pain to be dealing with. But you should, to prepare for your interview, you should pick one of these tools and know something about them. Hopefully you have real life experience with it. If you don't, you should pick one and learn as much as possible about this tool, preferably Ansible. That's really the most common one these days. So you should learn about Ansible, and you should be able to tell why Ansible is your favorite tool for configuration management. In generally speaking, it is very versatile, and really that's the main reason. You can do almost anything with Ansible. It's very flexible, but the drawbacks of Ansible is because it's very powerful, you can do a lot with it, but because it allows ad hoc changes to your virtual machines through playbooks, sometimes drift can happen and your machine would have changes that somebody has applied through ad hoc commands that are not part of your main configuration management that you have for the virtual machine, so it's no longer immutable. You couldn't recreate the same VM again because somebody has done ad hoc, which is allowed in Ansible. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.